Good evening. Heard melodies are sweet, but those unheard are sweeter. Welcome to BMC News Live in English, brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. I am Vinod Narayanan, joining you with the daily news updates. Today's headlines. Bahrain updates, precautionary quarantine protocol. Bahrain approves booster shots for those aged 12 to 70. Bahrain Mosque closed for 1 week. Up to 10 days pay cut for government employees violating safety rules in UAE. Dubai issues new law to regulate possession of private property. News in detail. Bahrain updates, precautionary quarantine protocol. Bahrain's National Medical Task Force for Combating the Coronavirus has highlighted that starting from Thursday, 13th January 2022, the precautionary quarantine period will be 7 days from the date of infection for individuals that hold a Green Shield on the Be Aware Bahrain application. Green Shield holders can exit quarantine after 7 days without taking a PCR test. Individuals who are unvaccinated or hold either a yellow or red shield on the Be Aware Bahrain app must quarantine for 10 days from the date of infection and can exit quarantine after 10 days without taking a PCR test. The task force also announced an update to the precautionary quarantine protocol for travelers entering the Kingdom of Bahrain through all ports of arrival. Individuals holding a yellow or red shield on the Be Aware Bahrain app and unvaccinated travelers will need to quarantine on arrival for a period of 7 days. Travelers who hold a Green Shield on the Be Aware Bahrain application are not required to quarantine. The task force stressed the importance of conducting a PCR test if experiencing symptoms of COVID-19 and continuing to adhere to all health precautionary measures. Bahrain approves booster shots for those aged 12 to 17. The Bahraini National Medical Task Force for Combating the Coronavirus has announced that the booster shot has been made available by choice for those aged 12 to 17 years starting Wednesday, 12th January. Individuals within this age group who have received 2 doses of the Sinopharm vaccine will be offered the Sinopharm or Pfizer-BioNTech booster shots, approved for use from 6 months after the second dose. However, those who have received both doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine will be offered the Pfizer-BioNTech booster shot early, also 6 months after the second dose. The Green Shield will not change to yellow on the Be Aware application for this age group if they do not receive a booster shot. His Royal Highness the Prince and Prime Minister chaired the 411th Coordination Committee meeting. His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, chaired the 411th Coordination Committee meeting, which was held remotely. The committee was briefed on the developments of the National Health Insurance Project, My Health. They also discussed the latest development in dealing with the coronavirus and other related procedures. His Royal Highness Prince Salman stressed the vital role of financial and banking sector in economic growth. Finance and National Economy Minister Sheikh Salman bin Khalifa Al Khalifa stressed the vital importance of the financial and banking sector in supporting the national economy. He underlined the pivotal role of the sector in the wide-ranging development process led by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. Sheikh Salman commended the opening of the new headquarters of the Bahrain Institute of Banking and Finance in Bahrain Bay by His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. The Minister highlighted the current development strides witnessed by the financial and banking sector, hailing the support of the government chaired by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. Bahrain Mosque closed for 1 week. The Ministry of Justice, Islamic Affairs and Endowments has closed a mosque in the Northern Governorate for 1 week after detection of a positive coronavirus case among worshippers. The measure was taken as part of continuous follow-up of the National Medical Team for combating the coronavirus to fight the disease. The ministry said the time will be used by the relevant teams to carry out the process of tracing contacts, sanitize the premises, and ensure that all precautionary measures are taken. Today's COVID updates. COVID updates brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. Team Women Across Bahrain announced a newest initiative, Hugs, a clothing drive for women. Project Hugs aimed to collect used or less worn clothing to be distributed to the needy. The soft launch of the Hugs was held on Friday, January 7th at the Cappuccino Coffee Shop, Crown Plaza, Bahrain. The first 3 sets of clothing was handed over by Bahrain resident Suja Premjit. The clothes were received by Sumitra Praveen, founder of Women Across, in the presence of Anupama Minu, project's coordinator. Other than women's dresses, towels, blankets, and bedsheets are also accepted. Donors who wish to contribute can contact Team Women Across on 3906 2720 or 3215 0833. Now we will be back after a very short break. Welcome back. Up to 10 days pay cut for government employees violating safety rules in UAE. In an updated circular to government entities, the Emirates Human Resources Department specified 8 COVID safety violations in office and their penalties. This includes not wearing a mask, shaking colleagues' hands, gathering in an area in such a way that the specified social distancing is not adhered to, reporting to office despite being COVID positive or having symptoms, failure to ensure COVID safety, failure to notify employer about being a close contact, not maintaining green pass on Al Hosn app, and failure to adhere to COVID measures outlined in official circulars. Dubai issues new law to regulate possession of private property. Dubai's ruler issued a law on expropriation of property for public use in the Emirate. The new law regulates the procedures for expropriating property for public use. The provisions of the law will apply to the expropriation of property across Dubai. The law also covers special development zones and free zones, including the Dubai International Financial Center. Big increase expected in arrival of Umrah pilgrims in Saudi coming months. A big increase is expected in the arrival of foreign Umrah pilgrims over the coming 3 months, ending with Ramadan, which is the peak annual Umrah season. This has been attributed to the ongoing elaborate preparations on the part of a number of countries to send their pilgrims to Mecca. These countries include Indonesia, Pakistan, India, Egypt, Tunisia, Algeria, Uzbekistan, and Libya. A total of 201 licensed Umrah companies and establishments are geared up to provide the best possible services for the pilgrims from their arrival until their departure to their homelands, after performing the Umrah rituals with ease and comfort. Saudi adopts 3 models for return of primary schools and kindergartens. Saudi Arabia's Ministry of Education has adopted 3 operational models for the return to classes in primary schools and kindergartens that will come into force from January 23rd. The models, defined as low, medium, and high, will apply to public, private and international institutions, as 97% of all schools in the kingdom fall within the low and medium levels. The operational models will take into account the health precautions and controls in primary schools and kindergartens in all regions, and will take advantage of the facilities and space available in schools. The models include psychological and social preparation for students to resume in-person studying, adherence to approved health regulations, monitoring the health status of the school staff, excluding classroom and non-classroom activities that fail to achieve physical distancing, equipping classrooms and schools with synchronized broadcasting techniques, and training teachers to manage simultaneous classrooms. Too soon to treat COVID-19 like flu as Omicron spreads, says WHO. The Omicron variant of COVID-19 is on track to infect more than half of Europeans, but it should not yet be seen as a flu-like endemic illness, the World Health Organization said on Tuesday. Europe saw more than 7 million newly reported cases in the first week of 2022, more than doubling over a 2-week period. WHO's Europe Director Hans Kluge told a news briefing 50 out of 53 countries in Europe and Central Asia have logged cases of the more infectious variant, Kluge said. Evidence, however, is emerging that Omicron is affecting the upper respiratory tract more than the lungs, causing milder symptoms than previous variants. But the WHO has cautioned more studies are still needed to prove this. This year's Oscars show will go on with a host. The Academy Awards will have a host for the first time since 2018 and return to their long-time home at the Dolby Theatre, broadcaster ABC said on Tuesday, while other awards shows have been postponed because of a surge in the COVID-19 cases. Walt Disney's ABC said plans remain in place to hold the Oscars, the highest film honors, on March 27th in Los Angeles, Reuters reported. With that, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Live English at 7:30 p.m. every day. I am Vinod Narayanan signing off from BMC News Live. Good night.